Hey Stampin' Friends! Welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachael Coon and it is Fun Fold Friday. Today we're going to be making a gatefold card using the Cute Fruit stamp set by Stampin UP. Go ahead and grab your supplies and hold while I flip. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that all right. Let me zoom in just a little bit. All right. Be sure to comment on today's live. For whoever comments gets entered into my drawing to get the card that I'm making today. So be sure to make sure you guys comment and I will announce the winner shortly after the live. We are making this card today. And this is a fun, very simple gate card. And they call it a gate card because you open it up a different way. I'm going to just pull off this ribbon here. And you'll see inside how it opens like a gate. And inside this one, I put this really juicy, cute fruit. Watermelon. I'll show you guys how to make that today in our video. However, I did want to show you this fun one that I had made previously when I was trying to brainstorm how to make what to share with you guys today. And this one's also really fun, and it has kind of like this peekaboo window using that same DSP and the in colors. So that's a fun one. I'll have to show you guys how to make that one another day. All right, here's the stamp set we're using. We're using that saying, you're one in a million, melon, with a play on words for million. Whew. And then we have our watermelon stamp set right there with its rind as well. For some of you who are in America know that this is the 4th of July weekend, and so I really wanted to make something that was the red, white, and blue. So it was important to me that I found something that had those colors and then also that screamed America. And to me, watermelons are such a common barbecue food that I thought it'd be so fun to show you guys how to make this watermelon card. Let me show you what we have for it. We're going to use 18 inches of this Misty Moonlight ribbon. And then I have 4 of these DSP panels. And they measure 2 inches by 5 1/4. I have these 2 squares. I use the stitch shapes for this one, and I use the layering squares for this one. However, if you don't have those dies that you can run through your die cutting machine, my suggestion to you is to use the measurements, which are 1 3/8 by 1 3/8 for that one. And this one is 1 3/16 by 1 3/16. So those are kind of tricky measurements, so I like to use my dies just to cut those ones out. Let's see, make sure we're not too blurry for you guys. And I've pre-stamped that one to save us time. The inside of our watermelon card has this panel, so you guys can write on it, and that is our typical usual 4 by 5 1/4. And then here's our card base, which looks like a typical card base. However, the difference are these 2 score lines right here. So I have this card base measuring at 5 1/2 on this side by 8 1/2 this way. And then I have 2 score lines this time. And what I did is I put it in my trimmer and I scored it at 2 1/8 on this side. And then I flipped it and I scored it at 2 1/8 on this side. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our gluing first all of our pieces. So we're just going to take that Whisper White and glue that in the inside. And I'm using that Tombow glue, the liquid glue today, because I'm using paper on paper and I like to have some wiggle room. I think I'm going to switch it up because that's what I like to do. If you're here, be sure to say hi, say something about the card so we know that you're here. For this one, I had this wood paper on the inside in that Misty Moonlight. This time I think I'm going to put it like that. We'll get our glue. And I'll just lay it like that. There we go. The second piece over here. All right. We're going to flip it over because that's our inside. This is our outside. And we have that polka dots on that side, so this time we're going to have wood on the outside. There we go. Just like that. Let's smooth it out a little bit. A bit more glue. All right. So the gluing for this part is done. All we have to do now is glue this one together. A little bit there. And place that right on. See how I need that wiggle room? I'm going to show you. Just kind of line it up and eyeball it like that. Okay. Perfect. I see I have a couple people watching. Hi, glad you're here. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I made that watermelon today. So what I use for my watermelon red color is the Poppy Parade. I thought this one was really fun and a nice bright red color. I have my foam mat underneath it because these are photopolymer and I like to have that even stamping with that underneath it. So I'm going to ink that up. Make sure it's nice and good. And I'm going to press that down right there. I'll watch that ink transfer just a little bit and lift up. And then I'm going to take my Shaded Spruce, was the color that I used for my rind. And this one's nice and dark. And it's fairly new. It came out with when we had that color kind of reboot that we did. Oh, I got that one a little bit. There we go. Like that, but it's okay. We're going to fussy cut this out in a second. My next tip I want to show you is how to use a Wink of Stellar to blend that green color out. So how I do it, I just squeeze a little bit on my Wink of Stellar right here where it says push, and some glitter has come through the funnel. And I'm going to take that green and I'm going to go over it and I'm just going to pull it through. Because if you look at a watermelon, you can tell from the rind to the white, it kind of bleeds. And I want that same look, and I want this rind to have that fun glitter to it as well. Normally you wouldn't eat a glitter watermelon, but in the stamping world, you could totally get away with it. Kind of see how that's pulling that green right there and making that white space change. It's very subtle. It's not, let me get that closer, you can kind of see it. There we go. There's the glitter on it, and just that, with the alcohol base and that Wink of Stellar, it makes that water-based ink move, which is awesome and fun. By the magic of video, I have a watermelon already fussy cut for us for our next step. So the next thing we want to do are make our seeds black. So I'm using that Stampin' marker, and there's two tips on these markers. I would want to use the pen-like tip and not the brush-like tip to color in these seeds. We'll go ahead and remove that foam mat. And you just outline that seed and color it in. It's pretty forgiving. So if you mess up, just go over it a couple times to make a good shape. We'll get those seeds in there. Outline it and color it in. All right. So my next watermelon tip for you is to grab your sponge. So I have this just old sponge that's cut up, and I have it on two different colors on the same sponge. And then when I'm done with this, I'll either throw it away or reuse it for some more watermelons. Let me get my inks in the view so you can see. What I do is I grab that color and I take it on the green and I just go around it. Because if you look at this watermelon that I fussy cut, let me see if I can get you, there we go. There's a white edge on it. I stamped it on white, and so it's really hard for me to get super close to it. So instead of cutting off the ink that I've already stamped, it's better just to add more ink. And the sponge is a great way to do that. So I'm just going around these edges and coloring in those white spots. So that way my watermelon looks green all over. Isn't that awesome? I'll do the same thing for the red. I'll ink it up just a little bit and then go around the top of my watermelon to get that awesome red in that poppy parade. And that is how I made this really fun watermelon. And you can use this on any project. For the last part of this card, all we have to do now is tie on our ribbon and add our watermelon. I had mine angled kind of like this. The key to angling inside, just make sure it's in between the edge and that score line. Again, I'm going to use my green glue, my Tombow. I'm just going to angle it like that so we're good to go. I'm going to get my bone folder so I can get these creases nice. Ooh, this one's going to look fun. Oh, and I do need to add our saying on front. So let me grab my dimensionals real quick, and we'll put that guy on there. So he would go right there, and I don't have to see my dimensionals close by, so we're just going to pretend that he's on there. And we will grab our ribbon. Remember, 18 inches for this one, and you just tie a bow. There is no right, well, there are good ways to tie bows. I just pretend and hope that it looks nice. If you didn't like a bow or have the ribbon, you could always do a belly band as well. See, he's not too bad. I would go ahead and adjust them and cut them. And the fun thing about this ribbon is that I can slide it to either side. If I want them over here, if I want it more in the middle, or on this side, it's totally your preference. And then I would attach this guy with my dimensionals. Let me see if I have some handy. There we go. So I keep my dimensionals in a case like this. Let me grab out these cute little black ones. These are the mini black dimensionals. Since I'm using a darker color, it works nicely to put these ones on. And since it's a square, I will put one in each corner. If it was a big square, I would even, you know what, I'm even going to add one more to the middle. And we'll remove those backs, and that will be our card today. I hope you guys learned something new, either that watermelon trick or these new measurements for you. There we go. There's our card. Perfect for the 4th of July as we have watermelons. So fun, and a huge area to write in a nice note. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye.